Before there was a Bothell, Washington, before David C. Bothell even arrived to the area, before the postmaster decided to call the town Bothell, Washington, because there were so many Bothells living in the area, before all that, there were the Beckstroms. Andrew and Augusta Beckstrom moved here in 1883 with their 2 children, Anna and Clark, and his father, Olaf. This is a picture of the young family in 1887. What's remarkable about them is that they ended up having 16 children. Some of these children's relatives are still here living in Bothell. What's even more remarkable is that they lived in this 16 by 14 cabin built in 1885. It was moved to Bothell Landing in 1979 to preserve it. It didn't originally have a foundation at all, and it was used as a storage shed for some time before it was moved here. They stored dynamite in it. But they had 16 children, plus the 2 adults and the father, that's 19, all lived in this cabin. It's well preserved, and it's a great example of pioneering architecture, if you could call it that. It's just a great relic from a time when Bothell wasn't Bothell. It wasn't even a community. It had a mill, and it was a steamboat stop called Brackett's Landing. It didn't have a road. It didn't have a formal road until 1913. This is very backwoods. This is called dovetailing. It's a technique where boards are fit together, usually without nails. If you see nails, look for the square nails. That means it was forged in a blacksmith shop. Andrew was a painter. He was from Småland, Sweden. He was born in 1852, came to the United States when he was 18. He lived in Illinois for a time. He met his wife, Augusta, in Topeka, Kansas. They were married in 1879. They moved to Seattle, and they filed a claim on 160 acres to homestead it. They bought a rowboat. This is interesting. On this side, they had extra rooms and whatnot that have been torn down, but you could see where the rooms once were. But they came to Bothell by rowboat. They bought a rowboat and made it to Bothell by this rowboat. They didn't even take the steamboat. And when they arrived here, they had to gather food for the winter and find shelter. That was 1883, and then they built this cabin in 1884, 1885. And some of their children, I know some of their children were born in this little cabin, one-room cabin. There's a wood-burning stove and a butter-churning appliance. That's mid-century, 20th century, mid-century table there. Again, there's the dovetailing. I just love that because that takes you back to a time where they didn't have 2x4s and framing techniques that they do today. Olaf, the father, he died in 1895, and Andrew died in 1926. The gutter right there above the door, that's the gutter, that's made of wood. So some parts have been renovated and shored up. We know this because, we know this, but also one of the relatives has stated that they were surprised what good condition this cabin is now, because it was in a very dilapidated condition before. There's a horseshoe above the door for good luck. The cabin was designated a City of Bothell historic landmark and moved here in 1979 for $30,000. So could Bothell, Washington possibly been called Beckstrom, Washington? Probably not. Though the story is that the postmaster did name the town Bothell, Washington, because there were so many Bothells living under that name in the area. But David C. Bothell, when he arrived, he built a hotel, had a mill, and he laid the plat for the town. He divided the streets, the lots, whatnot. So inevitably, it was called Bothell. Thank you.